morning and welcome to the TV Talk. I am Akshit Bhatnagar, and with Valentine's Day fever all around the world, we are here mourning the lives lost back on the 14th of February 2019, which was indeed a black day for the country. On February 14, 2019, the incident occurred in Pulwama district of Jammu Kashmir and changed the colors of this day. For what was celebrated with the color of love is what painted black by the blood of 40 martyrs bound by terrorists. A convoy of vehicles carrying Indian security personnel on the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway was attacked by a vehicle-borne suicide bomber at Lithapura in the Pulwama district of the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir. The attack killed about 40 CRPF personnel, including the culprit Adil Ahmed Dar, who was just a Kashmir resident from Pulwama. The day is tainted in the history books with the cruelty and misery. Ever since 2015, Pakistan militants have taken many suicide attacks against the Indian armed forces. The 2015 Gurdaspur attacks, the 2016 Pathankot attacks, the Pampur attack in 2016, the Uri attack and the Pulwama attack in 2019. The Pulwama attack's responsibility was taken by Jaish-e-Mohammed, and while India blamed Pakistan for the attack, they completely denied taking any responsibility for it. Jaish-e-Mohammed also released a video of the perpetrator Adil Ahmed Dar, who joined the terrorist group 1 year before the attack. Once again, Pakistan denied any involvement despite the leader of the terrorist group operating from the country. Working alongside the Jammu and Kashmir police, the National Investigative Agency dispatched a 12-member team to investigate the attack. Through the investigations run by the intelligence, 19 of the accused have been identified and 6 have been killed, and 7 have been arrested. It's safe to say that the rest will answer for what they did, for it is not in India's nature to not answer back to these terrorist attacks. The investigations found out that the vehicle carrying the explosive had about 300 kilograms of explosives, which included 80 kilograms of RDX. Later, the National Investigative Agency was able to establish and confirm the identity of the suicide bombers as DNA samples from meager fragments of the car used in suicide attacks matched with Adil Ahmed Dar's father. However, even after an year of investigation, NIA was unable to trace the source of explosives. According to Lieutenant General Huda, the explosives might have been stolen from a construction site, and there was a minuscule chance that they were smuggled across the border, the possibility of which could not be ruled out. Lives lost on this day have left a hole behind. India mourns the death of its son. The day of love for the entire world turned into the black day of loss for India. India summoned Pakistan's top convoy and launched strong protest. Prime Minister asserted that the security forces have been given permission to choose the timing, place and nature of the responses to the Pulwama terror attack. All tears will be avenged, and the armed forces will have been given full freedom to decide the place, time, intensity and nature of the retaliation against the enemy. I feel the same fire in my heart that's raging inside of you, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said. Nationwide protests erupted against the dastardly terror attacks. Several countries, including Pakistan's all-weather friend China, condemned the attack. Following the terror attack in Pulwama, India's government urged the Financial Action Task Force Laundering (FATF) to place Pakistan on the blacklist. The FATF decided to keep Pakistan on the grey list, giving it until October 2019 to meet the 27 requirements. The state administration terminated security provisions for separatist leaders on February 17th. On February 26th, 12 Indian MiG-20 planes crossed the line of control and unleashed bombs on the Pakistani city of Balakot. India said it hit Jaish-e-Mohammed training camp and killed a huge number of terrorists, between 300 and 350. According to reports, meanwhile, Pakistan claims to have scrambled fighters to intercept the IAF jets, which dropped their payloads and flew back over the line of control rapidly. The DGMO said in a press conference, in an intelligence-led operation in the early hours of today, Feb 26, India struck the biggest training camp of JEM in Balakot. In this operation, a very large number of JEM terrorists, trainers, senior commanders and group of jihadis who were trained for Fidain action were eliminated. The facility at Balakot was headed by Maulana Yusuf Azhar, alias Ustad Guri, the brother-in-law of Masood Azhar, chief of JEM.
Okay, it's not me alone that who's remembering the martyrs of the Pulwama attack. I think the whole country is paying a homage to these people who have been, who have laid down their lives in a very, I would say, a very heinous act done by the terrorists during the 2019 February. And I think it is the responsibility of every citizen in this country to remember this day, and it is equivalent to something that happened in 26/11 that happened in Mumbai. But here we have given a befitting reply after this attack which took place, and I think it's a very good homage paid to these martyrs who have laid their lives down, and a very good response to it has been given by the Indian government, which is there.
Okay, sir. So, sir, as we all know, these terrorist attacks in our country are no shocker because these are not very frequent, but we tend to experience these once in a while. So, what do you think as a soldier, like we are not, as a system, we are not doing to stop them?
See, terrorist attacks are not something which can be predicted or which can happen at a date, time and a place of your choosing. Terrorist attacks are state-sponsored people who carry out these attacks at their own will and old time. So the response has to be very good. We have to be always prepared for it, and it requires a very good understanding of the situation by both the government as well as the people. See, very important that people understand that these terrorist attacks can be carried out only if the terrorists get the support of the local population over there. If the people do not support this, you will see the rate of which the terrorist attacks will diminish very soon. So, by deploying your forces, you cannot eradicate the terrorist attacks as such. Because they will escape from here today, they will go and do an attack somewhere else. But if the people become aware and the people become conscious about these terrorist attacks, and they inform, and the political the governance which is there, they take a very strict view of which definitely they are taking, then you will find that the terrorist attacks will reduce to a great extent and maybe at times eradicated totally.
So what do you know of Black Day and what happened back in 2019?
On this day at Pulwama, 40 soldiers were attacked, and 40 soldiers have given their lives for our nation. And so it is called a Black Day because we have lost some very important soldiers. And this is very
So how did you react to the news when you first heard it?
It was very disturbing for all of us. It was a traumatic attack for many people, for their families, for all of us, for all the nation. And also it is very disturbing for our mental health, and it affected us very much, even today also.
In retaliation for the Indian bombing the day before, the Pakistani Air Force launched an airstrike into Jammu and Kashmir on February 27th. Pakistan and India both agreed that Pakistan's attack had caused no damage. However, an Indian MiG-21 was shot down over Pakistan, and its pilot, Wing Commander Abhinandan Varthaman, was captured in the ensuing duel between Indian and Pakistani fighters. Varthaman was later freed by Pakistan on March 1st. That's it for today. Thank you for watching JUTV.